My boyfriend doesn't know anything about women's bodies. I'm 26F. And my 25 meters boyfriend is a virgin and doesn't know anything about women's bodies. We have been together for about a year. And I knew before we made things official that he was a virgin. That wasn't a big deal for me. Recently, he made a comment about how I should just pee out my period. At first, I thought he was just making a stupid joke. But then he told me he was surprised that's not how it worked. Through conversation, he told me he doesn't know about female anatomy. And later on he told me he doesn't really know how sex works. I love him, but this revelation has become a little overwhelming for me. I offered to explain things to him, but he told me he didn't want me to. Is there any advice that someone can give me? I can't really talk about this with anyone in my personal life. Just because I don't want them to say something rude to him. He's already struggled a lot with his self-confidence. And I don't want to add to his insecurities. It's concerning that he doesn't want to know. I'm a woman, but surely it's unavoidable to know period products. Jokes about bleeding for a week etc. exist, making it impossible to think you just pee it out all at once when you like. I'm not embarrassed about knowing how male anatomy works. So what makes him intimidated by female anatomy? He clearly has a lot to learn. If he isn't willing to learn from you directly, maybe you could find a book to give him some basic information? I wouldn't necessarily blame a teen for growing up sheltered and not learning about human anatomy at a younger age. But not being willing to learn as a grown man in his mid-20s really doesn't bode well for him as a partner. If you run into medical issues at some point, or decide to have kids and go through pregnancy, childbirth, is he going to go, ew, gross, and run away instead of educating himself and supporting you as a real partner? This isn't a virgin problem, it's an ignorance problem. LMFAO. Sounds like you're dating a 10-year-old. I offered to explain things to him, but he told me he didn't want me to get out. While it's nice you offered, he's 25 not 15. Time for him to put his big boy pants on and research. But the fact he's not interested is concerning. For me, this lack of curiosity would be a deal breaker. The internet is a thing. He should know the basics by now. Bro has to be pulling some long con or is a super troll. He's 25. There's no excuse for his lack of knowledge. He grew up with the internet. There's books. There's school. He could have asked medical professionals, friends or family. My son is 14 and knows everything about the female anatomy, menstruation, ovulation, pregnancy. Trust me, leave him now because he will never be any good in bed. And if he had wanted to learn anything, he would have done so by now. This is something about ignorance, not a virgin. There's nothing wrong with not knowing how it works. Lots of people have terrible sex education growing up. What is a problem is the fact that he's actually saying no when you offer to teach it to him. You're telling me a grown-ass 25 years old doesn't know anything about vaginas? Expressionless. If you ask my nosy-ass 9-year-old nephew, he could tell you tears of joy. What do schools teach in biology? The education systems, globally, failed a lot of us when it comes to female reproductive health. He might feel awkward talking about it with you. There's books if he's interested to learn, or YouTube videos even. Or ask him to talk to someone else that you trust to pass on correct information regarding women's bodies and sex in general. It was understandable not knowing, and that can be blamed on poor education. But then realizing you're wrong and not wanting to know facts is weird. He has a girlfriend, works with women, may one day have daughters. or sons. He owes it those around him to learn the very basics. So he isn't judging people for not peeing out their period, or having a period on work's time, etc. Is he asexual? Get him a good book, something like Sex and Lovers, a practical guide. Send him some links about general topics on it so he can read at his leisure. Maybe he doesn't want to hear it directly from you. Weird though. Really weird. I have several questions here as it seems there may be quite a bit of context I am not aware of in regards to your boyfriend as well as your relationship with him. Is there a particular reason as to why he is or was a virgin before you were together? I.e., was this intentional on his part? Did he have religious practice, views, beliefs related to this, etc.? I am assuming that the two of you have had sex before. Correct me if I am wrong? And if so, how often does this typically occur, would you say? Does he show an interest in having sex or in initiating this with you? Does he have any underlying medical and/or physical, mental health conditions? Does he take medication of any kind? Or experience any kind of difficulties becoming sexually aroused or performing, etc.? These are just a few of the questions that I have, but are nevertheless ones that I feel that are relevant and worth asking if you don't know the answers to them, in an attempt to try and get to the core of the issue here of sorts, whatever that may be. I would agree here, as others have stated, that you aren't required to just be okay with his seeming willful ignorance on the matter at hand and have every right to be in a relationship with someone who either already has an age-appropriate knowledge of a woman's body or who is at least willing to learn or make this a priority. For me, lacking knowledge wouldn't be a problem, but it's a huge red flag to not want to actually learn.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.